Hello, folks. Welcome to Business Basics. We've been talking about how you can build a team that are accountable for their results. By the way, if you want to get the guide, then visit the website and you can download it there. In the meantime, I'm joined by my fantastic guest, Andy Hemming. Andy, it's great to see you. Thanks for coming on today.
Morning, Mark. Great to be here.
It's good to have you on. So these are your second 5 tips around building an accountable team. And today we're looking at SMART goals, right? So what's your first tip around SMART goals, Andy?
So we need to be specific with our goals, don't we? I'll stand at the front of the room with clients and talk about their goals, and quite often they're woolly. Now, woolly goals are really hard to plan for. So we need to get absolutely specific on these things. The more clarity we give in a goal, the easier it is to plan for it and achieve it, because we actually know what we're shooting for. So specificity, absolutely front and center when it comes to goal setting.
So if that's your first tip, what's the next one?
Well, it's got to be measurable, hasn't it? Business, the language of business is numbers. So if we're making decisions based on emotion rather than logic, they're going to be slower, worse quality decisions. We've got to get logical. We've got to get objective. So we have to be able to measure performance. So once we can measure performance, we can start to track how we are performing against that expectation, and life is a whole lot easier.
2 tips down. What's tip number 3?
Achievable goals. Now, we have to be really careful when we think about achievable, because sometimes achievable can come back to the idea of, I can see how I can do that within my current paradigm. Well, there's another paradigm here, which is if somebody else has achieved it, it's possible. You may not just know how yet. So it has to be achievable in terms of not stupid, but it can also be outside of your current paradigm, because there's a learning aspect to achieving these goals as well, isn't there? So setting bigger goals, shoot for the moon, you might hit the stars.
3 tips down. What's your 4th tip, Andy?
Well, they've got to be relevant, haven't they? Because all the organizational objectives will break back into smaller sub goals and sub goals. So all of these goals should be relevant to the overall organizational objective. If they're not, what's the point?
And finally, what's your 5th tip?
Well, time bound. If they're not time bound, which is the last part of our SMART acronym, isn't it? How often have we set ourselves a goal which has moved right and continued to move righter? So if we don't actually nail that down from a time perspective, then we've got no line in the sand. So we should be setting these goals in the context of, quarter by quarter, week by week, month by month, day by day. In fact, in some cases, everything needs to be absolutely nailed down from a time perspective.
5 fantastic tips. Thank you so much for coming on today. It's been great to see you. Folks, if you'd like to find out more, then download our guide. There's 25 tips for building a business where your team are accountable for their results. You can visit the website. The link's in the post, and we can't wait to hear from you. Until then, speak to you soon. Bye for now.